Hey everybody, welcome to Kyle and Not Kyle Show. Week 8. It's halfway through the year.
Yes. This is where we also a segment on this will be where we thought everybody was at the beginning of the year.
How wrong we were about some teams.
Yeah, the reality. I'm happy if I'm 50-50.
Right.
I'm going to be ecstatic. Because I had these guys top of the division. Where are they? The bottom of the NFL?
No. They're top of the draft order, Rob. They're top of the draft order.
No, that's Oakland. Oakland, Carolina. I think it'll be Oakland, Carolina. Or I mean, not Carolina. Cardinals. I think it'll go Oakland, Arizona, and then the Giants. And then San Francisco.
And don't forget Tampa Bay. Well, they have 3
they'll
wins.
Win a couple
they have
games.
3
no,
wins.
I think they'll win a couple more games.
Well, yeah, now that Fitzmagic is back, we'll get into that later. So, Houston hosted Miami on Thursday night.
That was the first game I went, okay, Deshaun Watson that we saw last year has finally stepped on the field.
He's back.
Yeah.
His stat line is incredible. 16 of 20 for 239 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He threw more touchdowns than he had incompletions.
Well, and it was 1 out of every 3 passes.
Yeah.
No, pass completions was a touchdown.
Yeah. After opening their season 0-3, the Texans have won 5 straight. Yeah, they found their groove.
In that division right now, they're all outside of Houston. I think Tennessee's 3-3 or 4-4, something like that.
Yeah.
And then Jacksonville's 3-5, and the Colts are 3-5. I believe.
Yeah.
If they can win the next couple, I think they can really distance themselves.
I agree. Horrible defense by the Dolphins. It seemed like every time DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller scored a touchdown, it was because the coverage just completely lost them. They were wide. DeAndre Hopkins on one of them came to practically a dead stop.
Yeah, that catch he made on his butt.
Oh.
There was a penalty.
I almost cried for him because it was such a great catch.
That's one of those things you come back to the huddle and you just go, "What is wrong with you, man? Did you see that catch?"
Right. Well, because every single on Twitter, I just happened to be glancing at my phone around that time, and every single post I had for like a solid minute was, "That's cruel. Don't call that penalty, guys. Don't. He deserves that catch.
Don't give him the first down. Just give him the catch."
Right.
It's like, come on.
Well, okay, now it'll be 3rd and 12, but from up there now. Yeah. I love the Texans color rush home uniforms that they wore. Those were nice looking uniforms. Sorry, I like uniform colors. Got to see Danny Amendola do his Julian Edelman impersonation. First career touchdown throw for Danny Amendola.
It was a watchable game.
It was.
It was a good game.
The Dolphins hung around longer than I thought they would. Yeah, we both had Houston.
That's kind of been their thing this year. They hang around longer than you think they
would. I think that Adam Gase is going to move on from Osweiler and Tannehill after this year.
What? That
he has to. It's time. We've seen the best of Tannehill.
Osweiler,
and
they just got Osweiler. They just got him this year.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to move on from him. They didn't pick him
to
have.
He's not going to win. He's not going to win you.
What happened to Moore? Wasn't it Moore? Did he go someplace else?
I think they let him go. Is that or he retired? I can't remember. The Dolphins pinball catch.
Yeah, that was quite.
That was if you're the defense, for me, that's just like, we couldn't have played that any better. And instead of it being a 20-yard catch, it ended up being a 40-yard catch because it got bounced off a helmet. And I'm beginning to feel more confident in saying that Watson and Mahomes is going to end up being the next Brady Manning. These two, they're in the same conference. If they both win their division, they're going to be facing each other each year.
You think so? Really? You think it's going to be those two guys? Oh, the AFC.
Yeah,
so
AFC.
Trubisky?
No, Trubisky's in the NFC.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of who was in that draft class.
Trubisky.
That was the 3.
Yeah, it was the 3. I feel like there wasn't a 4th one, but I can't think of who it was.
No, I think it was just those 3.
Watson.
Trubisky went 1. Then it was Mahomes, and then Watson, wasn't it? In the draft. It's a couple years ago.
Oh, it was because the Browns drafted a guy in the 2nd round and traded him a year later. Deshaun Kaiser, who's with Green Bay now, I believe. That was so. The final score is 42-23.
Could have been. It
could have been higher. Will Fuller being out for the year, that's gonna hurt. the Texans a little bit. He tore his ACL. It was a weird play that it happened on too. It almost just looked like their legs got caught up and he just stepped wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's usually how those things happen.
Yeah.
I've only seen one where a guy gets hit, and you just go, oh, okay, that knee's not coming back the way it's normal. A lot of times it's just they cut, or they step wrong.
Yeah.
Or,
I mean, whenever I see a guy go down and there's no one around him, I immediately
Edelman.
Yeah. Edelman, Lewis, Dion Lewis a couple years ago, Jordy Nelson too. It's just you see those, you just, bye. He's done for the year. That's an ACL. And you know, I really am curious to see how many I meant to look this up and I didn't. How many ACL tears there have been in the league through week 8 the last few years? Just because it seems like usually each year you
Here's
got
what I don't
one or
understand.
two
I
before
watched
the season starts.
8 games this week, and I saw at least 6 offensive linemen get rolled up on by their own guy.
Yeah.
And if anybody's not listening and you do this, I want to cut. I don't know why they don't design a brace for their lower legs that is on their knees and comes, because they get rolled up on, they're done. They're huge guys. They are huge guys.
Well, I know, especially it's just something, again, as you can tell, I'm a Patriot guy. Bill Belichick has his linemen, almost all of them, wearing the knee braces that are designed to keep. You may sprain your ACL and MCL, but you won't tear it.
Right, but I'm also talking. They roll up on behind them, so their ankles.
Yeah,
it's their ankles.
Yeah,
so they had
something like that
on the side, and then something like a plate that kind of just rolls. That's on part of it.
Yeah.
That would stop that. I've seen linebackers wear the neck flap.
Yeah.
Where their head can't go back a certain distance, and they never hurt their neck.
Yeah.
Except for head on.
Yeah.
I was just going, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something I'll design and send off to the NFL.
Oh yeah. Get rich. So that was a good game to watch. Sunday night though was the game a lot of people were looking forward to. Saints got to return to the stadium that gave them nightmares most likely. I mean, all the players after the Minneapolis Miracle were saying, we're going to be thinking about this game for a long time. Saints got the win. Final score 30-20. This was a good game. I enjoyed watching it. I only watched the condensed version. I chose to watch the World Series instead, being a Red Sox fan. Go Red Sox.
It's football, not baseball.
I got my plug in there. Okay, we're going back. Another week of 100-plus yards for Adam Thielen, which makes 8 straight, tying Calvin Johnson's record of 8 weeks straight in the 2012
what
season.
What game won't he get it?
Exactly.
I was just going,
unless he gets hurt, I think he's going to get it every week.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this guy is... And honestly, if he does that, I honestly think that should almost force him to be mentioned as either MVP or Offensive Player of the Year.
That won't be MVP. Yeah, I don't even know why they say MVP.
Yeah,
it's like the quarterback
just
award.
change it to MVQ, Most Valuable Quarterback.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's what they need to do. Always good to see the Vikings can never quite have faith in their kicker. Missed the...
Yeah, but the kicker didn't lose the game for him.
The kicker did not lose the game for him.
That was literally one of the few games I've seen in a long time that was completely decided by the turnovers.
Yep.
It's not like the Vikings turned the ball over 14 times either.
No.
It was 2 times.
It was 2-1.
2 times, and New Orleans scored 2 touchdowns.
Yep. Oh, and what
usually
was the
that doesn't happen.
Oh, and they won by 10.
Yeah.
Take those 2 turnovers away, and Minnesota wins the game.
Yes, and when New Orleans turned over the ball, the Vikings only got a field goal and get a touchdown.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, they both scored on it.
Yep.
But it was that differential, and that's an
11-point swing right there.
And they win by 10.
Won by 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good game. First half.
Diggs and Thielen, they're so fun to watch.
Oh.
I honestly think that's the best 1-2 wide receiver duo in the league.
1-2 wide receiver.
I'd take them over Brown and Schuster. I'd take them over Hopkins and Fuller.
You're not talking Los Angeles. Cup and Cooks. And then what's the other guy? Woods. Those 3 guys. That's a solid.
Yeah.
Well, New Orleans receiving core is good.
Michael Thomas. But a catch Thomas made when he's sliding and still catches it.
You know who was shut down in that game though? Shut down in that game was Kamara.
Yep.
Absolutely shut him down.
41 rushing yards and only 30 receiving yards.
And there was 3 plays. I went, Ingram's back. He's your pounder up the middle.
And he had a couple of long runs too.
He did.
interesting note about Thielen and Diggs. So Diggs is only 24.
Okay.
So someone's gonna be paying both of them.
Well, they just paid Diggs.
Did they?
Minnesota just
Okay,
paid
so they
Diggs.
just paid. Okay.
Thielen is the one that's making like $80 a game.
Right. So here's the interesting question: is Thielen gonna let the Vikings give him a? Is he gonna give him a hometown discount, or is he gonna go and get paid? That would be an interesting thing to watch
Oh,
down the road.
I think it depends on what happens. This is his second or third year.
This is his third year.
Okay, so his second year. I remember Torrey Holt was this way. His second year, he goes to the NFC Championship game, and he's an integral part of that offense. Right now, I don't know if they'll go to the NFC Championship game,
No.
but they're going to be in that hunt.
Oh yeah, very much. So.
And he's going to say, "Pay me as much as Diggs."
Yeah.
He might even say,
Pay me more.
"Pay me what you're paying Brown and
Yeah.
Julio Jones, because I'm making them look like they didn't know how to play football."
Yeah. Seems like a change of scenery was good for Eli Apple. He
Still whiffed.
Yeah,
he
he
still
whiffed,
whiffed
but
on a
he
tackle.
also he led the Saints in tackles.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be good for him. I mean, he was a great corner in college. On my notes,
He was okay for the Giants.
on
Nothing
my
special.
notes, I accidentally put Eli Apple led the Giants in tackles. I'm just like, he's not in the Giants anymore.
Well, yeah, he didn't lead the Giants in tackles.
It seemed like there were a lot of flags on this in this game, but I looked it up. There were only 14 accepted penalties.
There was a lot. There was
a
two
lot of-
stretches when there was like 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah, and
But there was
the same in the
so many
in
hits.
the Thursday game too.
Powerful hits in that
Yeah.
game. That was so good.
Good to see Everson Griffin back on the field.
That sound. There's that sound in baseball when somebody hits a home run. It's a sound. There's a sound in basketball when it's all net.
Yeah.
And there's a sound in football of collision, and you
Yep.
just go, ah, that's
Yeah.
football. There
Yeah.
was so many of that.
Yes.
There was once when Cousins dove, and there was that sound. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is a good game.
Right.
This is
Right.
crash,
Yeah.
crash.
So Everson Griffin returned to the Vikings. He had kind of had some mental problems.
No, he did have mental
I
problems.
mean, well, they weren't really saying what
Schizophrenia is what.
exactly happened, but the Vikings told him, like, look, we're not cutting you. We want you to go get help and get yourself straightened out, and then we will welcome you back with open arms.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't, and that was the thing. Was it seemed like they were kind of taking this issue head on. So he played about. I want to say they said that their goal. They were saying before the
It was
game
not
his
football
goal
condition.
was about 30 snaps, just kind of
Yeah.
start getting him back stuff. And Mike Zimmer said that he is just the heart of that defense. So getting him back, I think, will be a good thing for them going forward. Yeah, that was a good game. I enjoyed it. New Orleans is gonna make a playoff run this year, I think.
Well, they have got some difficult next 4 or 5 games. They've got some tough games.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the meat. I mean, I had them going. That's my NFC pick for the Super Bowl. Actually, I think it was
Mine
I
as
had
well.
Rams. I thought you had Rams. Rams. Maybe I had Rams. Yeah, I might have said the Rams at the
Nope, we
beginning.
both had New Orleans.
Okay.
Oops, I had the Vikings as the second overall seed. Whoops, sorry about that one. But we'll get into that later. So yeah, that was a Sunday night game. That was a good game.
That was a great game.
And then
That was one of the better games to watch. So far, the Vikings of the top 4 or 5 games this year, Vikings have been in 2 when they played the Rams and when
Yeah.
they played the Saints.
And
They've been on
then-
they've been on the bad side of that both of those games. But
and then Monday night.
that was horrible.
That was.
So boring. So.
I mean,
boring.
I was intrigued just because, like I said, Patriots fan, but
I don't mind a 3-6 game because you go, okay, that's a defensive game.
yeah.
This was, I think, if New England's defense spotted them 10 points, they would only got 13.
Yep.
They have no offense
No.
whatsoever.
No.
It's non-existent.
No.
And the other thing is, and I know you're not gonna like this. Here it is. You look at the teams in the AFC that are making waves. They have good running backs.
Yeah.
New England has one heck of a time stopping the
Yeah,
run.
and that's why it really intrigues me that there's reports that the Patriots are willing to trade high draft picks for quality wide receivers. We don't need wide receivers.
Well, unless that becomes the theory of
We need
I remember
we need guys who can stop the run, or unless it's like, okay, we're gonna go,
No, but
air
that's a
raid
theory.
offense, and we're gonna score 50 points on offense off of you.
that might be what the plan.
Yeah.
Just get somebody who can pass rush.
Yeah,
Because they're not going to have to. They're not going to be able.
Because right now we have one pass rusher, and everybody knows it. And that's Trey Flowers.
And if you
And
go,
so they're double
if you
teaming
go, okay, look around the league. So you've got Pittsburgh's up in the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
They can run the ball, but they're not a running team. They're a passing team.
No.
Even the running backs catch the ball.
Yeah.
You go to the West, Kansas City. Okay.
We barely beat them.
Hunt can run the ball, but they quickly get rid of the pass to the run.
Yeah.
Behind them, Ingram can run the ball for the Chargers.
Yeah.
But they a lot of times like to use him out of the backfield.
Yeah.
It's the NFC teams that run the ball.
Yep.
And I mean, like, they're going to just pass.
And it showed. Look at last year's Super Bowl. That was the biggest thing after last year's Super Bowl, and it showed how slow the Patriots defense was against the run. It seemed like nothing. The one guy they drafted in the 5th round, Juwan Bentley, out for the year. And like after like week 3, he had led the team in tackles. He was actually being ranked as Pro Football Focus already had him as like one of the top 5 pass coverage linebackers in the league, and he tore pectoral muscle or something out for the year. I was like, gosh darn it, we just got this guy. He's doing good, now he's out. Yeah, so the Bills clearly emptied their playbook. I mean, what was it? 3 straight Wildcat plays to start the game. Bills actually defensively had a pretty decent game.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with that.
But it was also
Brady looked very lethargic throwing the ball.
Yeah.
He only hit guys when there was nobody around him.
Yep.
A lot of those open.
Yep.
Okay, when they played Kansas City, he was hitting in between the scenes.
Yeah.
He was hitting smaller windows. This game, the window had to be gigantic for him to
Yeah.
actually. I saw him miss so many that I'm going. He would have 3 or 4 weeks ago. He
Yep.
hit that pass.
yeah.
I don't know if it was the cold or
I don't know. It also showed that the Pats' offense was missing Sony Michel. They did dodge a bullet. He returned to practice on Friday. But it just shows how much he's been able to open the field for Brady because they had to respect the run when Sony was in the game.
Oh, I see. I'm not going to disagree that he's an integral part of that offense. Getting Edelman back was.
Oh yeah, no. Oh,
That's, you take Sony Michel and don't have Edelman, I don't think they've won as many games as they have. Edelman, how many yards did he have? 100 and something?
yeah, 146.
Yeah.
Kyle Van Noy had another forced fumble for New England. That's like his 3rd this year.
What's interesting is I thought that was going to be a sack fumble. But
Yeah.
they just called it a forced fumble, not a sack.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. Devin McCourty, great interception.
Pick 6, yeah.
Yeah, showed his sideline to sideline speed, which that's all. He had kind of seemed
And
to be
if you
missing.
haven't noticed, when it's about the New England Patriots, there's a lot of time spent on an evaluation that's not on any of the other teams. So
I'm sorry.
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go
It's because
ahead.
I know more about New England. McCourty kind of been missing some of that at the start of the year. Like he was getting burnt a lot on stuff. I mean, he was still making plays, but he'd usually give up 1 or 2 big plays a game. He was like, ugh, D-Mac, what are you doing? This was an interesting note per ESPN Stats and Info. The Patriots hadn't scored a defensive touchdown since Week 17 of 2015. They went 40 games without one. The 40-game streak was the longest active streak in the NFL entering the night.
Which I wouldn't have guessed that.
Oh, I wouldn't.
If you'd have
either.
told me which teams out, I went Browns.
Oh yeah. I think most people would say no. The Browns, the Jets.
No, I'd have just went the Browns, and then I'd have followed up with the Browns, and then 3rd would be the Browns.
But yeah, so final score 25-6.
He overthrew Gronkowski like 4 times too.
Yeah. Gronk actually had quite a night. He only had like 43 yards.
That was on
that
what, 2
one
catches?
catch though that he made.
Oh, he's so good.
Mm.
He's so good. That one was 1 foot, 2 foot.
Yeah.
His foot was on the. I was like, oh. And I'm just going. You shouldn't have caught that one.
Right. So that was our
Review.
review for week 8. So we will see you on the flip side.